If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Jonathan Haidt, the psychologist, he talks about sort of the trajectory of relationships and love. And what he says is that at the very beginning, there's a lot of passionate love and very low levels of what he calls companionate love. Companionate love is sort of like trust and knowledge of the other person. You don't know the other person. How could you? Passionate love is like, I want to be with them all the time. A lot of sexual attraction here. We got like the sparks are flying. And in every relationship, after a couple of years, you start to see a decline in the passionate love and an increase in the companionate love, which is why you'll see couples who are 70 years old. And it's not like they're, going at it 24 hours a day. It's more like they feel like they're integrated with one another. It's almost like one unit. And so when you're dating for marriage, yes, the passionate love will be there, but you're also trying to look beyond what that 2-year passionate love period is going to look like to what is the rest of your life going to look like. And that sets up a whole different expectation of the person you're dating and for yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, you think I'm gonna leave any meat on the bone? Oh, you're sadly mistaken. The voice of reason, the VOR, is on fire already. Live from KBLA Talk 1580 from the heart of Leimert Park. You already know how we do. Man, we got a powerful topic tonight. And as is usual, please understand, non-judgmental space, okay? Non-judgmental space. I want to hear your perspective. This is a conversation, not a monologue. I want to hear what you think. Now, so many people that I've come in contact with, I've done relationship roundtables all over the country, hundreds of them, and I hear people say, I want a relationship like my grandmama, like my grandparents had. They were together for 50 years. They're still together, blah, 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 blah. And what happens is we kind of marginalize relationships that don't last long. and we aggrandize or we fantasize about the long-term relationship. I want something meaningful, something that's gonna last. Should we play Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever? Let me just say, right? A lot of people want that long-term relationship. And what I've always said was, just because your grandparents' relationship lasted a long time doesn't mean it was a good relationship. Doesn't mean it wasn't toxic. Come on, let Keith speak to him just a little bit. Just Keith, get in here, brother Keith, get in here.
Let's make it last. Let's make it last forever and ever. Don't let our love in. Let me hear you tell me you love me. Let me hear you say you never leave me. Ooh, girl, that would make me feel so right. Let me hear you tell me you want me. Let me hear you say you never leave me, baby, until the morning.
Hey, turn Keith off. Turn him off. Keith, it's a fantasy. In my relationship book, The Relationship Dismount, released in 2015, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship, we talk about cornerstones and stepping stone relationships. I want Attila Phillips to call in here, and before she calls in, I want her to find the section in the Relationship Dismount that talks about cornerstone and stepping stone relationships. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have a cornerstone relationship. Stepping stone relationships, although they may be short, they may last for a season. You know, you get in them, you learn something about yourself, you learn something about relating, and then you move on, right? The stepping stone relationship. Most of us are going to have many stepping stone relationships. Very few of us will have a cornerstone relationship. Now, the cornerstone relationship is the relationship where you keep learning, but you keep learning from the same partner. It's rare. It's rare. And now the internet is up in arms because of Ebony K. Williams. She just said, basically, young ladies should aspire, to get, when you get a relation, or when you get your degree, get a ring with that degree. And let me just say, Ebony K. Williams is an exceedingly beautiful and an exceedingly intelligent sister. Do not take her words lightly. However, there are points to be pointed out. Number one, the way the statement is spoken and or framed sounds like it's as easy to get a ring in a meaningful relationship, a substantive relationship, as it is to get a degree. I differ. I beg to differ. I believe it's easier to get your degree than it is to get a ring in a meaningful relationship. You can get a ring with anybody now, but I'm talking about a meaningful, substantive, cornerstone relationship. It's easy to get, listen, you know how many people will say things like, hey, my wedding was the best day of my life. Then that means the rest of your, so if the wedding was the best day, then that means it's slowly losing value like the dollar. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying here? We cannot take the spiritual aspects of relationship lightly. So listen very carefully. Meaningful moments, short or long. Love knows no bounds. Length versus depth. Exploring the heart of relationships. The relationship equation. Quality times depth equals success. Hot topic alert, 1-800-920-1580. I want a relationship like my grandparents had. They were together for 50 years. Why the length of a relationship doesn't indicate how successful it was. Do different needs require different speeds? Short-term versus long-term relationships. True or false? The length of your relationship doesn't define or determine its quality. 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Call me now. While growing up, were your parents socially rich, but spiritually and morally impoverished? Can short-term relationships be as meaningful as long-term relationships? 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready. There was a reason Big Mama and Pawpaw slept in 2 different bedrooms, man. The family was a business. We got to keep this thing together, Earl. Now, me and you, we ain't on the same page we was, because I know about that other group of family, that other group of kids you got on the other side of town. But for the sake of the family, we going to turn that den into your room now. You're going to get in a single bed. We're going to put that bed up on bricks. Come on now. And if you come in my room, Earl, this your big mama talking to your papa. If you come into that room, Earl, you know I got that 22 under my pillow. Listen, we aggrandize our grandparents' relationship, right? Because they stayed together. But you don't know what they endured by staying together. Oh my goodness. Are short-term relationships better? I want to hear from people who might agree or disagree. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. What generational curses / tasks were handed down to you from your mother and father and their parents, and how do these generational tasks / curses show up in your adult relationships? Is a failed relationship a waste of time? 1-800-920-1580. Call me, call me, call me. I need to hear from you tonight. I need to hear from you tonight. True or false? The length of a relationship doesn't validate how deep of a connection 2 people share. Huh? 1-800-920-1580. How many failed relationships do you have to endure before finding the one? Yeesh. How do you personally define the quality of a relationship? 1-800-920-1580. I want to hear from ladies and sisters from all over Southern California. I want to hear from people from all over the nation. This is a national discussion. It is not a monologue. It is a conversation. Talk to me tonight. What are the key factors that contribute to a successful relationship for you? Can a short-lived relationship be as meaningful as a long-term one? Why or why not? How do you differentiate between a relationship's length and its depth? These questions are not for me. They're for you. I want your perspective tonight. Can a brief encounter leave a lasting impact on your life similar to a long-term relationship? 1-800-920-1580. We're doing it tonight. Do societal expectations influence our perspective, our perception of relationship success? How does personal growth factor into the assessment of a relationship's overall quality? What are the potential benefits of experiencing both short and long-term relationships? What is the purpose of a long-term relationship? What is the purpose of a short-term relationship? Can a relationship's quality evolve or devolve over time, even if it started poorly or well? There's so many factors here. Get to your phone lines. We need to talk when I come forward. You know the phone lines are going to be cooking. You better get in now if you want to talk. If you want to share your perspective, your opinion, please enlighten us tonight. The VOR is already incendiary.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
Now. We tend not to think about now. We dream about tomorrow, relive yesterday. But right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. Learn more at v.org.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Is your eyesight changing?
I can't read this anymore.
Don't lose hope. People just like you are working every day using Braille, screen magnification, speech technology, and other tools and blindness skills. Your eyesight may have changed, but your goals, they don't have to. We can help. Visit us on the web at blind.org. The National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
seem very confusing why certain long-term relationships survive and some don't. It can, from afar, look as if it's the most cruel and alarming sort of lottery. Trying to explain love to a child or a visitor from another planet promises to be a perplexing matter indeed. All couples on their wedding day are united in wanting to make things work. Then, for reasons beyond anyone's comprehension, some of them simply seem to dissolve, and others don't. To remove some of the terrifying element of apparent chance, and encourage us to work on the right aspects of our own couples, it may be helpful to become deliberately reductive about the real reasons why breakups occur. We need, in this regard, first to discount certain causes that gain far too much airtime relative to their actual likelihoods. Of course, sometimes people break up because one party wants a younger partner, or because they want better sex, or because they are seeking a more exciting companion, or because their hobbies or political views have drifted apart, or because things have, somehow, grown stale. But let's quickly try to reduce the role we give to such explanatory factors. Given the costs of breakups, given the massive investments that people make in being together, given the chaos generated if there are children, one can assert with a high degree of confidence that almost no one ever splits up for such familiar reasons. The real reason lies elsewhere. The real reason for breakup lies in one or both spouses' sense that they have not been heard, that something very important to them has been disregarded, that their point of view has not, at a fundamental level, been acknowledged and honoured. It doesn't matter what the subject of this non-hearing happens to be. It could be that they haven't been heard about their views on money, or on the way that
Boy, that was the Hogwarts of relationship advice, but she was dropping bombs. Typically, people break up because their needs are not being met. And if your need is to be heard, if your need is to feel appreciated and respected, yeah, that's a reason why people leave. But you learn something too, don't you? You learn that you can't be dependent always on somebody bigging you up. Sometimes it's just your job. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people always want to put it on their partner. He made me feel small. She made me feel like I wasn't a man. Boy, if you don't go inside and kill that demon, that wound is what needs that attention, not you. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we got work to do tonight. You want a relationship like Big Mama and Pawpaw? Did Pawpaw make Big Mama feel small? Ooh. And if he did, he had hell to pay. Big Mama put some hot grits on Pawpaw for any of this madness. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get to it. You want a long-term relationship or a short-term relationship? Which one has the most value? Can you get value out of both? Can you be in a long-term relationship that really has no value? And can you be in a short-term relationship that leaves an indelible impression on your spirit? 1-800-920-1580. We got callers on the line. Let's get him in here right now. Because Diggy is impatient, let's go to Tallahassee, Florida. Diggy, get in here.
What's that, Zoe?
What's up, man? Now, you know, Diggy, ain't no profanity now.
Yes, sir. We're going to keep it clean, man, like Mr. Clean.
There we go, brother. Talk to me, bro.
Listen, I put it like this. Long-term relationships, due to the test of time, actually show the best potential to show what the marathon of a relationship is, if it works out. And sometimes short-term relationships can just get to the blitz of it. You know, you can just get to it in a real rush. But overall, I have a very resume of experience when it comes to long-term and short-term relationships. And overall, I feel like all you have to do is just be patient, take your time, regardless of your situation and distance, and you'll get to your goal.
I like to hear it, brother. I like to hear it. I like the insight. Guess what you just did, Diggy?
What's that, bro?
You brought Tallahassee, Florida in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Who out there wants a relationship like your grandparents had or like your parents had? Somebody call me right now and tell me which is better, short-term, long-term. Typically short-term, you're going to learn a lot in a rapid pace, at a rapid pace. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to see a lot. You're going to understand a lot. A lot of things are going to be revealed to you, and it's going to happen quick. And you might need 2 or 3 more relationships to unpack what happened in that first short-term relationship. You may need 3 or 4 short-term relationships to be able to unpack, hey, why is it that I attracted this type of person? Who am I when these type of people show up? Why is it that I allow certain things to transpire when, in fact, I should have deaded that from the beginning? You start to learn about what you really want and what you don't want. How about it? So are those relationships meaningful? Are they purposeful? You tell me. 1-800-920-1580. Jade, no. Sean, Oakland, California. Then we going to South Central. Let's get it.
Hey, brother Zoda.
Brother
wow,
Zoda.
This is a great show.
Thank you.
Hey, I have to tell you, I'm telling you, the last caller is right on point about patience. I mean, obviously, he's been in a long-term relationship. But the short-term relationships, people, those are the most important ones leading up to any long-term relationship. And by the way...
No, wait, Sean. Sean.
Go ahead.
You said the short-term relationship is the most important? This is what we got to do. Hold tight. When we come forward, Sean is going to unpack this for us. The short-term relationship, according to my brother Sean, resident caller of the Voice of Reason, will break this down for us.
You're the one I'm living for. You are my sunlight and my rain. And time could never change what we share forevermore.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Esther Dillard, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Senate leaders on both sides of the aisle are calling for the House to avoid a government shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said on the Senate floor that House Republicans need to stop catering to the whims of the hard right. Kentucky Republican and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said his colleagues need to pass short-term funding legislation and avoid a harmful and unnecessary government shutdown. The black U.S. soldier who crossed into North Korea without permission is back in American custody. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller thanked China and Sweden for helping U.S. Army Private Travis King leave North Korea. King was taken into North Korea custody in July after he bolted across the DMZ during a tour. And the Portland Trail Blazers have reportedly agreed to send NBA superstar Dame Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks as part of a 3-team deal. I'm Esther Dillard on the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation, admit the I said really was bold. I think she get it from my mama, her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her drama, she too defensive to listen, I'll call so. Looking at I got problems, you got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy, plus the time zone difference don't make it more easy. So I figured I'd call in early, turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in, Voices, that's the show. Yeah, yeah. Voices, that's the show. So just lay back your mind. Someday, everybody tuning in to soul. Cause he is the voice of reason, yeah.
One of the big assumptions of our times is that if love is real, it must by definition prove to be eternal. We invariably and naturally equate genuine relationships with lifelong relationships. And therefore, it seems almost impossible for us to interpret the ending of a union after only a limited period, a few weeks or 5 or 10 years, or anything short of our or the partner's death date, as something other than a problem, a failure, and an emotional catastrophe that is someone's fault, probably our own. There are people desperate that they've failed because their relationships have lasted only 32 years. We appear fundamentally unable to trust that a relationship could be at once sincere, meaningful, and important, and yet at the same time fairly and guiltlessly limited in its duration. There are, of course, a few very good reasons for our collective valorization of the lifelong love story. A great many of the pleasures and virtues of relationships do only reveal themselves over time, once trust has been established and loyalty fully demonstrated. When two people know it's forever, they will work harder than at anything else in their lives. There's no option to avoid some necessary but unpleasant issues. They will do their utmost to understand the mysteries of the other's psyche. They will show reserves of tenderness and vulnerability they wouldn't ever otherwise have accessed. They will learn to apologize and reach a modesty about their own shortcomings. They will grow up. And in the meantime, day to day, they will sample the modest but genuine pleasures of cozy Sunday evenings together and shared walks in country parks. Not least, children always benefit. But it's because the charms of the long term are so clear in our collective imaginations that we should acknowledge the danger of cruelly and normatively suppressing all the legitimate claims of short-term love, an arrangement which deserves to be interpreted not merely as a pathologically stunted or interrupted version of a long-term union, but as a state with distinctive virtues of its own, one that we might rationally choose from the outset, knowing from the start that it would be better for both parties if there was a termination point more or less in view. So much can go right with short-term love. When two people know they don't own each other, they're extremely careful to earn each other's respect on a daily basis. Knowing someone could leave us at any time isn't only grounds for insecurity, it's a constant catalyst for tender appreciation. When it isn't...
Short-term relationships are good too, mommy. 1-800-920-1580. KBLA is on fire tonight because the voice of reason is an arsonist, a relationship arsonist we're trying to cook tonight. Are y'all ready to do it? Let's get back to Sean from Oakland, California. He was basically saying short-term relationships are the most valuable form. Talk to me, bruh.
Brother, so yes, I 100% agree with that because, look, when I was a young kid, and I'm only giving you my story, you know, my parents divorced when I was really young. And I love my dad, rest in peace, and it just happened the way it happened and all that, right? But as I went through life, you know, I had my rock star moments. I was very lucky. I was, like, really good in sports and all that, and had like a rock star, you know, 7-year run. And that's pretty good, you know. I wasn't doing drugs and stuff like that, but, you know, I had all the girls I wanted. But all those experiences taught me so many different things, right? Because the one girl that I really liked in high school, she dogged the hell out of me. She dogged me like you couldn't be dogged. She dogged me so bad. And what I was thinking is long term. I was thinking I want to be with this person long term. And we are only like 16 years old. I you know, later in life I realized how stupid that was for me to think that. But that was the first learning experience. And then all the other ones going down the line, I always made it clear to them, hey, let's have fun and do that. There was nothing serious. But I learned from all of them. I did. I learned lots of things from all of them. Mm-hmm. They liked me for whatever reason. They liked me because I was, at the time, popular or playing sports. Or, they just liked me, whatever. But when I met my better half, she challenged me. I don't mean it in a bad way.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Challenge you to be better.
Yes.
Oh,
my goodness. Yeah. And I don't know if that's exactly why we've been married, 35 years and together, whatever, Gosh, you get this long, you feel very fortunate.
Right.
But we've been through all the humps and bumps. And by the way, everyone has issues. Everyone has things they have to deal with that are not fun to deal with. Okay, so I'm whether it's financial, whether it's kids, it doesn't matter. But she challenged me. Mm-hmm. Are you going to be in this? And our only agreement is, brother, and I know this sounds cliche or whatever, but I'm not going to cheat on you sexually or anything like that. But I love hugging. I'm a very embracing person. I hug and I kiss people on the cheek, but I never do anything inappropriate. She can do the same thing. She could be in a different part of the world. I could be in a different part of the world. It's okay. We trust each other. When I say trust, it just means we know we're not going to cross that line. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that was the challenge, and that's one she gave me.
Let me just say this, Sean, man. I really respect you, brother. I don't know if I've
Thanks,
ever told you that, but I respect you, brother. You're consistent. You're going to tell us the truth every single time. And you know what you just did?
I don't know, but I respect you as much and more.
But let me tell you what you just did. Can I tell you?
Yes,
You just brought Oakland, California in the building. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The Voice of Reason is on complete fire tonight. Do you want a long-term, potentially unfulfilling relationship like your grandparents had? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want a long-term, beautiful relationship like Keith Sweat described, make it last forever like your grandparents had? Or do you want a short-term relationship that teaches you something, that gives you something, that helps you elevate to the next level? I'm not saying the long-terms don't do that. However, we've seen some really toxic long-term relationships before. I'm not advocating one or the other, but I want to know your thoughts. Please get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we're going to South Central Los Angeles and Dallas, Texas.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
If you're a veteran with a service-connected disability that is directly impacting your ability to work, resources are available to help you find employment. VA's Veteran Readiness and Employment, or VR&E, can assist you with finding a job that uses your existing skills. Or, if you're interested in exploring a new field, a VR&E counselor can help you determine the right education or training options for a new career. Find out if VR&E is right for you by visiting va.gov/VRE today.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Always and forever, each moment with you is just like a dream to me that somehow came true. And I know tomorrow will still be the same, 'cause we've got a life of love that won't ever change. And every day, love me your own special way. Melt all my heart away with a smile. Take time to tell me you really care, and we'll share tomorrow together. I'll always love you forever.
It's about, your existential position in the world. And there's going to be plenty of times when you have reason for that. And I know perfectly well that the things that you're going to be able to point to allow you to have a modicum of self-respect are the things that you've managed to accomplish as a consequence of adopting the difficult responsibilities of maturity. You'll be able to say, well, despite my flaws, manifest as they are, here's the things I've managed. And there aren't that many things to manage. That's the other thing. You don't want to destroy too much, because, what do you have in your life? Well, you've got an intimate relationship, right? If you're fortunate, that's what you're going to have a sequence of meaningless intimate relationships that are short term, and there isn't any evidence that that's good for people, as far as I can tell. It's good to have an intimate relationship that's lasting. It gives your life some solidity, right? And it's what people generally want, but it's effort, it's work, it's negotiation, and more importantly, it's an accomplishment. It's something.
Hey, Jordan Peterson does not play. He said, listen now. It's work. It's effort. It's an accomplishment to be in a long-term relationship. It's meaningful, but it requires emotional maturity. And you use the short-term relationships to strengthen that muscle. Huh? So many of us in this transactional society are only in that damn relationship to get what we want, not to get what we need. We need emotional maturity. You can't get emotional maturity unless you're looking for yourself when you walk into the relationship. So many of us are just laser focused on what the person said they would do and be to us. And that's all we're looking at. And that's why we're upset. That's why we're sad. That's why we're disappointed. We didn't have one iris, one cornea focused on ourselves. How do I show up? How do I respond and react? How am I the problem? How do I contribute to the building entropy and spiritual entropy in this relationship? We never think that way. It's always somebody else's fault for why this thing went downhill. You want a lasting relationship. You're not just going to have it. You're not just going to have it because you want it. You've got to cultivate it. And where do you start that cultivation process? Within. Not without, I'm gonna wait till the right one show up. But you're not right. Your spirit is ajar. You're disconnected internally. Are y'all listening? All right, that's enough of me. Callers, let's get in here. JW's been on the longest, South Central. Let's talk.
Hey, Zoe, how you doing, my brother?
I'm alive and well, brother. Talk to me.
Hey, like I always say, man, it's all about motive for one thing or intention. In reference to the old folks, or short term as well as long term, both have qualities in terms of different degrees, or I would say levels or standards, and all the above, because you got to have the right intentions. And I agree with what your other callers stated, with several of them made the same point, as well as people that you played on air, the psychologists. It's all about having the right intention and the right frame of mind, and vetting. That's important. And that short-term relationship teaches you a lot if you take notes. Like you said, if it goes too quick, you might not pick it up, and you have to repeat it several times. Because I say pain is a good teacher, or failure is an excellent teacher. School's in session.
I love it.
And also, when you related to emotional maturity, I made that comment several times. I equated to elementary school, junior high, and college. You know, you got to graduate from one level or one grade level to another degree, et cetera. You know, it's growth, it's development, it's maturity. And that's one thing that we lack as a people, and I would even say that as a race of people in America, no matter what nationality or gender they may be, they just don't teach emotional maturity in any school curriculum at all. And I think that's a deficit for everybody. We're dumbed down. We're not educated. And that's the main reason why most people break up, other than money, or because of money, or a combination of both, or either or, because we're not mature enough to comprehend things and to communicate and have a critical ability to critical analyze things, to critically think through something to come to a solution. That's where our brain come into it, and that meets me, myself, and I type of mentality. Some people are always like, I'm always right, the world's always wrong, because they don't approach their inner self. And I always say that's that spiritual being, that Holy Spirit, or that God being, or that breath of life, or however you want to phrase it, that makes the person equally yoked.
Hey, brother.
And I could elaborate on, but I'm going to give somebody else some time to
I love
contribute some of the point of view.
J-Dub, man, you always bring South Central Los Angeles in the building. We appreciate you for the insight. Thank you, brother. Call in anytime if you want to bring your city in the building. L.A., come on, follow J-Dub's lead. He brought South Central. I want to hear from Leimert Park. I want to hear from Inglewood. I want to hear from Pasadena. I want to hear from Pomona. I want to hear from San Bernardino. I want to hear from Culver City. I want to hear from DTLA. I want to hear from Torrance. Y'all better get up in here. 1-800-920-1580. The phone lines are cracking. Let's do it now. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, brother.
Man. Whether it's short term long term, whether you trying to base your relationships off of what you saw from your parents or grandparents, aunts and uncles or whatever, you can only do so much with that because you only saw so much.
Ooh, come on, true.
You know.
Yes.
You may have seen some good moments that you think, oh, you want your relationship to be just like that, but you gotta ground yourself. You gotta base it in reality. You know, for every good moment, there's gonna be a bad one. And if you're not around to see how they handle those bad ones, you're gonna try to base your relationships based on a falsehood, for lack of a better term. It's always got to be grounded in reality because regardless of what you see from your elders or whatever, you're gonna have your own experiences. You may experience some stuff that they didn't, or you may experience some stuff that they've gone through, but they haven't shared any information about how they handled it. So a lot of this stuff is gonna be new to you anyway.
Right.
So you're going to have to go through those learning curves regardless, whether it's a short term or long term. And like other callers were saying before, the short terms are going to be beneficial to you whether you're in pain or not.
Right.
Because you can carry those lessons, if you bother to pay attention, into whatever relationship you have going forward.
Right. Yeah. I love this, True. Boy, you cooking with avocado oil, the rarest of oils of all. You're cooking with avocado oil, and you know what you just did? Do you know what you just did?
I'm sure, but go ahead and tell me.
You brought Dallas, Texas in the building, man. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. Call me, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, man, Texas is still in the building. We got Houston, Texas. We got Austin, Texas. Dallas, Texas just left. We got Pensacola, Florida. That's who I'm going to first when I come forward.
And explain just the things that you do. And if you get lonely, phone me and take a second to give to me that magic you made.